What if I told you that your everyday teaching ideas, the ones that you already use in your classroom, could be your next source of steady income? And here's the kicker. Most TPT sellers miss this one strategy that could make sales happen faster than you think. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the top secret that most best-selling authors on TPT use and swear by, but rarely share. Ready to find out what it is? Make sure you stay to the end of this video. You don't want to miss it. Hey teacher friend, welcome back to my channel. I'm Molly and we're going to dive in today about how to take these amazing teaching ideas that you have so that you can succeed in your Teachers Pay Teachers store and have this strategy in your tool belt and you're not left guessing what to do next. You already have everything you need to become a successful seller. You're just likely lacking a plan. You've created the activities and resources for your own classroom. You know they work well because you've tried them out and you've gotten results with your students. So you're not sharing them with your TPT store yet. Fine, let's dive into it. There's unique potential that you have inside of your store to be sharing these solutions to common problems that other teachers have. And we know the reasons why you probably haven't shared them yet. You're scared of putting yourself out there. What if they don't sell? What if other teachers I work with judge me and think that I'm crazy? What if people don't like my resources? We've been there before. As TPT sellers who are making money, I've been there before. The people inside of my course, we've been there. So I want you to work through that during this video and take the strategies I'm going to give you and apply them and watch it help. Okay, the strategy that I mentioned in the beginning that no one talks about, I talk about this here and there on my TPT videos here on YouTube because I'm very passionate about it. And I've worked with sellers inside of my course, From Zero to Cha-Ching. I've worked one-to-one in coaching and I've done TPT masterminds. And so this is where people often get stuck and drag their feet. And I don't want that to happen to you. And that strategy is narrowing your niche down. So if you were to say, I am a high school science teacher, that's my niche. That's what I'm going with. Narrowing your niche down would be figuring out what it is that you actually teach. Now, I bet you have multiple preps, but there's got to be one of those preps that you're really passionate about. So let's say you're a biology teacher, but you also teach anatomy. Anatomy is your passion. That's narrowing down your niche. When we sell to a specific audience, this is how our sales do skyrocket. I've tested it out time and time again with my own store, with the sellers that I've worked with. So when I give you this advice, please know it comes from data-driven decisions that were made and following the numbers. So another example, let's say that you're a second grade teacher, but you have a dynamite phonics intervention that you created because you knew that your students were struggling with XYZ and you didn't have a solution in your classroom, so you had to make one. You've tested it out with your students, so that would be you narrowing down your niche to phonics intervention. Now, could you have other resources in your store for second grade? Absolutely. And you might find other product lines down the road that you can build off of the phonics intervention product line. But starting there and letting people know that you're the phonics person, I'm coming to you for that. You've showed me how it works in your classroom. I need that for mine. I know sometimes this can feel just overwhelming and you're like, okay, but I need an example of somebody that's done this. And I like to share Lisa, a student that was inside of From Zero to Cha-Ching. And then later she wanted to take her tutoring business to a place where she could work less because she scaled it full time. And she needed a way to make up that money where she wasn't working with tutoring clients and she could be home with her new baby more. So she came back to work with me after Tutorpreneur Academy and From Zero to Cha-Ching and joined the mastermind. From there, we really dove deep into what her unique superpowers were in her tutoring business. She'd been a classroom teacher for 12 years. She had the teaching chops. She was ready for making great resources and she'd been creating some for her tutoring clients. And that ended up being her niche. We really zoned in on the problem she was solving for clients and realized that she could help other teachers or tutors who were doing exactly what she was doing by creating a product line. And she rolled up her sleeves and dug deep. And that's exactly what she did. And she had really great success. And I can never say you're going to get X amount of dollars in a certain amount of time. But what I can share with you is the success that someone I've personally worked with has had. And with Lisa, she hit the $2,500 mark in around 7 months of working on her TPT store and only about 10 hours a week. Remember, she's a busy mom running a full-time tutoring business, so she didn't have a ton of extra time, but the time she did have to give, she was strategic and she followed a plan. So why does this strategy that we're talking about works? When you really narrow down the niche, it's because you are building trust and expertise in your specific area, and it's going to help you stand out in a crowded marketplace. Now, don't let crowded marketplace freak you out. There's plenty of room for everybody, but the more you niche down, the more you're going to etch out your place and firmly establish that you're the go-to person for that solution. So you might be thinking, okay, great, Molly, but how do I apply this strategy? Perfect. Let's get a pen and paper out and write down the steps that you're going to do. The first thing, you need to identify your niche. I just told you how to do that. So what kind of teacher are you? What do you like to teach? Get more specific than that. Using myself as an example, again, for the sake of this video, I'm a 5th grade teacher. I love teaching a variety of subjects. However, I found in my own tutoring business and inside the classroom that teaching reading is my favorite. So I dived deep into literacy inside of my niche. Next, you're going to write down what you do better than anyone else. Really, I'm inviting you to do that. So think about it. When your teacher bestie comes in your room and sees you teaching something and they say, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Can you please share that with me? That's your superpower. So what do you have as a teaching superpower that you know that you do so well that other people are coming to you for that? Write that down and say it with positive affirmation that you are the best at it, because that's going to come through in your resources when you're helping other teachers. Next, I want you to write down what other problems that you often solve for either students and or other colleagues, teachers in your building. So this will give you an idea of the kind of products that you're later going to create in your product line and get selling, so that you know that there's a system to you putting your products together and you're not just guessing what you should make, but you're having a complete strategy. And I know I use that word a lot, but it is my word of the year this year, and I want you to really encompass that in all that you do this year in your TPT store. Step 2, you're going to create that signature product line. That is so key to taking your store to the next level. That just means you're taking a series of products and putting them together. For example, outside of TPT, if I'm thinking about Lululemon, and let's say I like a certain type of leggings, the Align leggings. These are different in the product line, but they're all inside the same product line. So some might be 23 inches long or 25. Some might have a flare at the bottom. Some might have a softer material or more of a faux kind of material. So that's what I mean by product line. Another example would be if you were on the Starbucks app and you were looking for pumpkin spice flavored everything. If you typed in pumpkin spice, what's going to pop up is you're going to see a muffin. You might see a scone, a latte. You might even see a chai tea with a pumpkin flavoring in it. So that's what a product line means, and your TPT store absolutely needs one. This product line will serve as the foundation to your store and help so many teachers find a one-stop shop solution to everything inside of your niche. You will eventually categorize it all and map it out to the point where it is all there in one place. And that's when you start really making the great sales in a big ticket bundle. When we think about back to school and then right after winter break and what teachers are looking for, and they're going to come to you for that solution. So I suggest with your first product line that you start with something small, one lesson plan, maybe one set of task cards. But before you do that, map everything out. And if you are the kind of person that's like, I need a plan for that, remember, From Zero to Cha-Ching is always there for you. I teach you how to do all of that inside of the course. Mapping it out is crucial because then you know a roadmap of where you're going and what you need to do to get there. So another person that I've worked with that did this so well is Shannon, and she's been a dream client to work with. She not only took From Zero to Cha-Ching, but then she was like Lisa and joined the mastermind. And from there, we continue to do one-to-one coaching, and she really niched down. She's a tutor just like Lisa, but she also recently started back in the classroom as a literacy coach. And so she's very busy, and I want to reiterate that because I know you're busy too and you don't have a lot of time. And once she really niched down, she took her sales from just making like 1 or 2 sales the first year to making hundreds of sales the next year. And she did that by mapping out what she was going to do. She hosted a workshop inside of her business, which is something we do inside of the Advanced Mastermind. We teach you how to do that that. And she did coaching with strategy. And so whenever I would give her an Instagram story idea or something to post on a reel, she followed through and did it. And you can do that too. It's just all about having that plan and following it. And the key between Lisa and Shannon and other students that I've had that have been so successful is that they really did focus down on that niche and had purpose and intent every time they sat down at their computer to work on their TPT store, and they viewed it as a business, not a hobby. Well, you're probably wondering too, why is this strategy so overlooked? And I think it's because new sellers try to appeal to everybody in the beginning, and that approach rarely works. In fact, I've never really seen it work. When you are so confusing in your marketing and not really sure on what problem you even solve, then it's going to come across in your store, and I'm not going to know as I'm stepping onto your TPT storefront what I'm even trying to look for as a solution to my very specific problem. I also want to emphasize to you that we have to focus on quality over quantity. I know a lot of times we really want to hear a specific number. The number will come to you with the product line once you map it out. It might be 10 resources, it might be 50. It depends completely on the problem you're solving and how narrowed down your niche is. A few well-targeted resources can perform better in a store than dozens of unrelated products. So let's recap what we learned today. We're going to really focus on our niche and our unique teaching ideas. We're going to make products with intent and purpose. And once we found that niche, we're going to start working on that product line that solves real problems for teachers, and knowing that we're serving with a helping mindset instead of just always thinking about how much money I can make from something is going to come across in everything that you do. So remember, let's brainstorm and get it down on paper, and you can't ever lose with having a plan. If you're wondering what step you are in your TPT journey, I completely get it. I DM with sellers all the time over on Instagram. And I found 4 pathways that they usually end up on. And the first one is they haven't started their store yet and they need a jumping off point. So my free challenge helps them there. They find that out by taking my new free quiz on what's your next best step in your TPT store. From there, they might figure out that they need a roadmap, a plan, a blueprint. So they sign up From Zero to Cha-Ching. After that, one-to-one coaching often comes into play because they want advanced marketing strategies. And from there, they want to plan a course or a workshop, which they can do one-to-one as well, or they can do inside of the mastermind. So if you're wondering what your next best step is in your TPT store, click on the description box below and take my free quiz. It'll give you the clarity that you've been looking for and a clear path to what you actually need to do instead of listening to all the fluff that people are saying all the time on the internet, and give you exactly where you need to go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.